can you turn 7 minutes into inspiration? What is it that inspires people? Is it a story with a good ending? Is it good triumphing over evil? Is it a Rocky movie? I think pretty much every movie eventually morphs into Rocky. Think about it. Somebody's down and out, life's beating down on them, facing insurmountable odds, and then all of a sudden, the corner is turned. And you can almost hear that music. Dun, dun, da, da, dun, da, 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 da. And then the montage comes on of all the preparation that goes in that ultimately turns into the thrilling victory, and you just want to go, "Yo, Adrian!" Well, hearing an inspirational story or seeing one on a movie is good, but how do we live one out? What goes into inspirational living? Well, I'll tell you what goes into inspirational living. It's a vision of greatness. That's what. A vision beyond your circumstances. One that stretches you further than you can go on your own. One that scales the heights of the hindrances in front of you. In the Bible, God tells us that a people without vision will perish. Now, he doesn't say that they'll just go through the motions in life. He says they'll perish. So a vision is critical to life. If having a vision leads to an inspired life, will any vision do? No, your vision of greatness won't be found in the shallow waters of your life. Your vision of greatness is found in the deep waters. Your vision of life will spring up from deep within and erupt like a geyser, spewing you forth into life. Now, having a vision is a good start. To be inspirational, though, other people have to catch your vision. Do you remember any of the inspirational stories where the only person that got ahead was the protagonist of the story? Probably not. The point I want to make here tonight is that an inspirational vision is a proclamation, not a protestation. Proclaiming the truth is better than protesting the evil. Proclaiming the truth illuminates the right way to go. Protesting the evil keeps the wrong way in the headlines. I remember several years ago, there was an art exhibit, and they had a crucifix in a jar of urine. Now, this was just absolutely disgusting to so many people. I went to my pastor, I said, "Tom, what should we do about this? This is outrageous." And Tom looked at me and says, "John, now is the time for us to proclaim the love of Christ." And he was right. The truth about Jesus is not what some artist did. The truth about Jesus is what he proclaimed. Our group's called the 912 Toastmasters. A lot of people don't know what 912 really means. But the idea is that after 9/11, America was more united than at any time that they could remember. We'd just been attacked by terrorists, and we stood together, united against a common enemy. The 912 Project started by proclaiming a vision that has been captured by many in America. It proclaims that America is good, that God is the center of our lives, that honesty is a virtue, that the family is sacred, that justice is blind, that there should be opportunities for everybody, equal opportunities, but not necessarily equal outcomes, that charity wells up from within the person, that the government works for the people, and that we have a right to disagree. You see the proclamation there? It's not a litany of negatives, it's positives. And millions of people have said, "Yes, that's my vision too." Now, once there was a man whose country was in terrible, terrible crisis. It was split down the middle. There's people on the one side that were filled with hatred for people on the other side. And during this crisis, the man became president. And all around him, the sides were drawn up, some to his left, some to his right. The people that elected him were clamoring for him to tip the scale to their side, to his side, to the side that had been out of power. They waited with great expectation. He was an answer to prayer. God surely had heard their protests against the awful regime that was now out of power. But the man, the new president, didn't give the people what they wanted. He didn't perpetuate the wrongs that were done in the country by now doing them to others. Instead, he proclaimed that it was a new day and that forgiveness was the order of the day. He said that he was president of but one nation. He reached out to the minority, those that were now out of power, and he worked with them. And what he proclaimed had come about. A nation of many cultures, many languages, many races had become one nation. That man was Nelson Mandela, and he was president of South Africa for 5 years. The mark he made was a lasting one. His vision and character had been shaped and honed during 27 long years in prison. His vision, at first misunderstood by many, was finally embraced by all. And the fruits of his hard labor are there for all to see. We tend to go through life protesting. It's the easy way out. It's easy to find out, say what's wrong with your life, what's wrong with your marriage, your kids, your work, your church, your country. That's easy. But what do you proclaim to be right and just and true? Do you want to be a game changer? Maybe you want to be a better husband, a better wife. Maybe you want to be an inspirational parent to your kids. Maybe you want to change the landscape of your job or your church or even your country. Then what do you proclaim? What's the story that's honed in your life? What's the truth that you have that you'll stand up against any falsehood? That's what will inspire a household, a neighborhood, a country. Your world, your sphere of influence needs you to stand up and say the truth today. Will you start? Thank you very much.